Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Bahashon Hakudash. I want to give double honor to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone Ruel. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. All right, today I want to go into a topic entitled Our Power, Sovereignty was stripped of us per Deuteronomy 28 chapter. All right, our power, sovereignty was stripped of us per Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. Okay, and what has happened, all right, was we were given the illusion, all right, we were given the illusion of independence. All right, we were given the illusion of freedom. But you have to understand the nature of Esau, Edom, the nature of Babylon, the nature of Rome. Anything that's promoted to you, anything that's marketed to you, comes at a cost. So we were given the freedom to enter, have access in this first world country, but it came at the expense of independence. It came at the expense of sovereignty. All right, it came at the expense of rulership. Because even in America, when we were segregated, all right, segregation was promoted as something bad. But really, it was good because, first of all, it kept us from being around damn devils anyway. But it also protected us, all right, it protected our dollars, okay? And although we were in the land of our captivities, all right, we had our own so-called communities. We had our own districts, all right, Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We had our own communities in Rosewood, Florida. All right, Durham, North Carolina. All right, and we had a lot of towns. Not only did we have districts, we had our own functioning towns, and a lot of those towns were buried in America, and they were buried. All right, first of all, we were gentrified. We were kicked out of those towns, not gentrified, but kicked out of those towns, and then they buried those towns underwater. So they actually put lakes on top of those towns. All right, so even in the land of our captivity and during our curses, all right, we still had some type of self sufficiency. All right, you have to understand um um what the curses engendered. All right, one of the things that the curses engendered was a lack of self sufficiency. We don't have systems, all right, to bring resources to us. All right, you see all these Israelites in your neighborhoods, all these Israelites at work. We weren't put on this earth to operate machines. All right, let me fucking take this off. We weren't put on this earth to work in some plant and operate machines. That has nothing to do with us. You know, just drive trucks for the hell of it. You know, that's to feed your family. So you're indirectly providing for your family. Now, the most I put all these people in your nation. All right, so you have farmers, all right, fishermen, all right, carpenters, blacksmiths, all right, shoemakers, all right, barberers, all right, herbalists, all right, I can't think of the word, but people who make clothes, sew clothes, all right, shoe shine or whatever, all right, hirelings, all right, potters, all right, we supposed to have our own. We had it even when we left Jerusalem and we penetrated Africa. We had our architects, we had our engineers, all right, we had our teachers, we had our artists, we had our craftsmen, all right. And the most powerful thing was that we had it for our people. All right, we fed ourselves. See, what Keisha doesn't understand is that she's been seduced with this thing called individualism and liberation. All right, she has access to enter into this first world country and live luxuriously, and she, is successful in her career because a lot of so-called black women have elevated in this society because of their careers. All right, she has that, but her nation has failed, her race has failed, her family has failed. A lot of those women don't have families. All right, you see, so you've, for lack of better words, you've traded off your race to live luxuriously in someone else's country. All right? You've denounced your nation and your sovereignty to have that first world status, man. And a lot of you do have that first world status. All right? That upper echelon life. All right? Because whatever you poured into in college or whatever, It gave you access to the first world strata of this country. But it came with an expense, and that expense was sovereignty. So whatever bad happens in this country, you're going to be affected by it. All right? Like in Jackson, Mississippi, there's a water crisis. So Jackson is the second highest, it's one of the highest population of Jakes in America is Jackson, Mississippi. When there's a water crisis, a lot of households didn't have water. All right? And so also being an Israelite in another man's house, whatever bad happens in the house, you're going to get affected by it first. All right? Speaking of house, it tells you in the book of Sirach, it's better to live in a mean cottage than to live in another man's basically big house. No, I'm chopping it up horribly. All right? But it's better to live in a mean cottage. So when I think of a mean cottage, all right, I think of the Amish. All right? The Amish, all right, they choose not to have electricity. They choose to live the old-fashioned way. Well, that's superior than living in the first world country of America, man. They're in the country of America, but they're not in the culture of America. All right? But any culture that can sustain themselves without America is more superior than black culture, man. Black culture is shit. Say what you want, nigger culture is shit, man. Because there's a basic that you're supposed to have to sustain your people, man. The laws that were given to us by Yahweh Bashim Shai, all right, there were laws to sustain you on your own fucking land, man. All right? You get a new car, it's going to be an old car next year. You get a new phone, it's going to be an old phone next year. All right? Everything is old in this country, man. But land always appreciates in value. Now, in this country, you could buy land, but we still in the land of our captivity. So that's not going to be the remedy for captivity. But you have to understand, one of the worst things we did was integrate into this bullshit, man. All right? Was integrate into this bullshit, you see? All right? But like it says in the scriptures, better to live in a mean cottage that's yours. All right? You see? Then you go to school 12 years to know what? How many times do you have to take English or math? But the average person, you can't build nothing, man. And one of the results of living in this country, especially in the metropolitan area, especially if you grew up in the inner city, you don't know a damn thing, man. A lot of Jakes, they mastered the art of being a metrosexual. They can dress their ass off. Jake can dress his ass off. You can't stop a nigga from dressing, man. But a nigga don't know how to change tires. Jake don't know how to cut grass, all right? And most of us don't know how to chop down wood and build nothing. We don't know how to engineer nothing. Don't you know these are basic things that you're supposed to have as a nation? We in the South, so a lot of Jake can fish, or maybe even hunt. But a lot of Jake, that metropolitan inner city shit, that's the lowest level of humans. People make fun of the country, but people in the country, they still got those basics down packed, man. But Jake in the inner city, man, he just mastered the art of having a hairline, that taper fade, that sharp trimmed up beard. Yeah, Jake clean as hell, man, but he dumb. He a mannequin. Like a mannequin, it just dressed up, but it's shallow as hell. It's hollow as hell. That's Jake, man. Not just the women, just Jake. And that's what happened when we got integrated. That's what happened when they demonized having a father in the household just for you to produce a damn nigga. So being a man in your house and the leader of your house, that's toxic and that's oppressive. Just so a woman could sleep with a damn nobody and make a baby that's a damn nigga. Demonize being a real man just so a woman could get knocked down by a nigga and give birth to a nigga. You see? When you live off the land, you forced to have to be a real man, and you forced to have to be a real woman that's in her feminine and a nourisher, because that's the only way it works. It ain't no feminist women in the wild, man, or in a sovereign land. That's one thing Kevin Samuels will reiterate. All that alpha female, all that strong shit, You go to a third world country where they live off the land, that all goes out the window, man. All right. Another thing that's been lost since we've integrated into this bitch is family, man. It's family, man. All right, because the result of feminism, all right, and women's sexual revolution was that they could delay family for their careers and they could delay family to embrace sexual freedom. And that in itself destroyed the family, man. See, when we go back to our homeland and when the earth goes back to its natural state, family is gonna be over everything, really. A lot of countries, family dictates who a woman gets with, not her own lust and her own emotions, and her fucking needs. All right, family bets the party that's about to marry each other, man. All right, yeah, man. One of the worst things that happened is that we got westernized, man. One of the worst things that happened since slavery is that we got integrated into this piece of shit, man. You know, but but you can't make 2/3 of our people give up this first world Roman status. All right, give up this first world Roman status to even just live self sufficiently. All right, yeah, you can't make Eve give up them different options in her phone, them different niggas in her phone, just to be a nourisher and a housewife like she was born to be. You see, she ain't gonna give up that little white Nissan Altima. She gonna get that car, man. All right, I'm just picking up scriptures. All right. That's why it says in Jeremiah 6, and I believe it's the 16th verse, turn you to the old path, the old way, man. Everything that's less tainted by society, Esau sells for a higher price. That should tell you something. You go to a gas station, you go to a gas station, you on a road, you might want to eat healthy. A bag of cashews costs damn near $10. You know, a fruit cup pretty expensive, but you get a gargantuan size of chips made in a factory by man, $3, $2. But a bag of cashews, $10. All right. Anything that's less tainted by society, it has more value. So anything that's connected to the old way, even in this side, has more value. Even as a woman that hasn't jumped out there in the world, or she hasn't had a decade of different men, she has more value in the marriage market, man. All right, food is not tainted by man or as tainted. It's higher. It's called organic. All right, the water, brother. Jeremiah 6:16. Thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way? Walk therein, and you shall find rest for your souls. All right. The worst thing that has happened is we integrate into Satanism, into this beast. All right. The food we eat is killing us. A lot of times you'll go on you'll go keto, because I've been doing keto, but you'll go vegan. But really, the food that was killing you wasn't the bread; it's processed bread. It wasn't the meat; it's processed meat. All right. It is what the hell is processed? Only in Babylon. A lot of food that's illegal in other countries, like the UK, is perfectly legal here. Because in America, the outcome isn't the welfare of the people; it is profit. All right. Baruch 4:1. This is the book of the commandments of Yahweh, and the commandments ain't just 10 freaking commandments, man. It's actually our civilization. Those 613 laws, all right, that's our civilization. So when we're on our own land, we're civilized through his laws, man. This is the book of the commandments of Yahweh and the law that endure forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Zephaniah 3:1. Woe to her that is filthy and polluted to the oppressing city. And this is an oppressing city, and it's filthy and polluted, man. What is it polluted with? All right? The lack of the laws of Yahweh, man. It's no fucking morals, man. All right? It's full of death and decay, man. Because everybody has been enchanted by a lifestyle of debauchery and instant gratification, but it yields sickness. It yields shit. It yields death, man. But I'm gonna draw this live stream to a closing after I get this scripture. All right, and the water for the scriptures I can Deuteronomy 4 and 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahweh my power commanded me, that you should do so in the land whither you go to possess it. And this is the first pioneers and them Edomites was trying to do when they came to America. The foundation of America was as though they were Israelites on new land. All right, but this is how we're gonna be when we take the world, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. But with that, I'll be brothers and sisters edified. Till the next time, Shalom, the water for tuning in. All right, may you Akim and you sisters have a Barak evening, man. Till the next time, Shalom.